there is a remarkable friendship between our two countries, and the friendship is solid and it is long-lasting. We will be celebrating the 70th anniversary in 2026. So I would like to underline that the collaboration is excellent, not only government to government, but also people to people. Where does this come from? I think this is because Switzerland stayed on the side of Nepal during the difficult times of its recent history, be it the armed conflict, the peace process, but also the various natural catastrophes that have hit the country, the earthquake in 2015, the pandemic, but also more recently, the earthquake in Jajarkot last year, the heavy rainfall this year, and we've been providing quick relief assistance after these events. So there are a lot of good achievements. I think we could write a book, on that, but just to highlight two of these achievements, I think the reforestation that took place in Nepal is largely due to the Swiss financed initiatives in this area, as well as the trail bridges, which have been a transformational impact on rural connectivity. So now there is a lot of goodwill and a lot of achievements to build on. And for the future, our goal will remain to support Nepal on its economic development path, ensuring that there is an improvement in the well-being of men and women living in Nepal in a federal state which is inclusive and accountable. So how will we do that? There will be two main areas of focus. One is what we call federal state building, because you need to have a solid framework of institutions, and we will continue to support Nepal in implementing the federal constitution. We are well placed to do that because in Switzerland we have experienced the value of a federal constitution to ensure the pacific coexistence in a very diverse society. And at the same time, the partnership is growing. Our focus is increasingly shifting from aid to trade. So we will supporting Nepal in its intention to graduate from the less developed country status in 2016, and ensuring that Nepal is on the path of sustainable economic growth, creating jobs and reducing inequality and poverty in the country. So this is a very broad question, and yes, I will try to be short. On the diplomatic front, I would like first to recall that on the 12th of June this year, our two presidents met in Switzerland. And before that, in February, there had been the bilateral political consultations which took place in Switzerland and which went very well. So the next round of political consultations will take place in Nepal in 2026. So meaning that the priority will definitely be to prepare for these consultations, but also to prepare for the celebrations of the 70 years of diplomatic relationship. As to cultural ties, we have always been fostering cultural exchanges and supporting initiatives that would promote cultural diversity. So we have been supporting art residency for young Swiss artists, or inviting Swiss musicians to participate in a music festival here. For instance, this year we co-sponsored the festival God is a Woman, and there was a Swiss hip hop artist participating. So this was one of the events we sponsored. We will continue to do that, but we have recently entered into longer term partnerships with some Nepali partners, because what we would like to do is to strengthen their capacities, also to enable them to become financially sustainable, and also to enable them to take more risks when they are programming activities. As regards the economic ties, I mentioned before that the motto is from aid to trade. So meaning that a big part of our activities will remain with the cooperation program. And this is something that we will continue, but meaning also that we are increasingly diversifying in order to foster the bilateral economic investment and trade. I think it's a reciprocal relationship, a reciprocal love, you know. For sure, there is this genuine interest of the Swiss people for Nepal. But it's also because on the receiving side, the Nepali people have received us with so much warmth. And it's certainly the geographic similarities, you know, that shape the mind. It might sound a bit, easy to say that it's because we are both mountainous and landlocked and small countries, but it's definitely that. Because when you arrive here, you see the landscape and you feel at home. And the more so if you go in the mountainous region and you see the villages, the constructions, the villages, the houses look the same. And also the way female would carry their burden, you know, it's the same. So I think it speaks to Swiss people. And this is why there is this dedication for Nepal. Yes.
I think we should also recall Tony Hagen's explanation.
Definitely.
Yeah,
he was the first one, yeah. And you know, I think here, since I arrived, it's almost every second day that people mention Tony Hagen. So as a Swiss citizen, I mean, I'm so proud that there is such a legacy, and I mean, we are really proud to be continuing this great friendship. What has been remarkable in our partnership is that it has evolved over the years, and that we have always adapted to the context and to the needs of Nepal. So, as I said before, to accompany Nepal on its economic growth path, I think there are all this governance and federal state building work that still has to be done. We will continue to support Nepal in implementing the federal constitution, because it's important to have a strong framework then for the private sector to thrive and for the prosperity of the people. So the constitution is still not fully implemented. There are important pieces that are missing. You know, every time I go to the field, I speak to people in the provinces, in the local governments, they would say that an important piece of legislation now to be adopted is the Federal Civil Service Act. And so this is good that now it's seriously discussed in the parliament, so that it will, once adopted, have an instrumental role for the implementation of the constitution. So then within this framework of conducive to better business and more investment, so we are supporting the development of small and medium enterprises. So shifting from the rural development focus to a more across sectors focus and focusing on small and medium enterprises, and also working with the authorities to continue to improve the business climate. So what do we do, for instance, with small and medium enterprises? The point is to enable them to have access to finance, access to business development services, access to skills, for instance. And as to access to skills, so we've been working with the Nepali authorities and the private sector to improve the technical vocational education and training system, so that enterprises can find better skills on the market. If you allow, I would give also an example on access to finance. We recently launched a new project in the Koshi province. The project is called Udaya. And there, the point is to increase the access of small and medium enterprises to business development services, both before they get a loan and after they get a loan. And the idea being that if they can improve the bankability of their project, they will get access more to credit more easily. This project is also piloting an innovative financing mechanism. Together with the provincial government, there will be a provincial SME risk reduction mechanism. This is a kind of guarantee to de-risk the investments that banks are doing in SMEs, so that actually it will increase the access to finance for SMEs and it will reduce their borrowing costs. So these are the kinds of initiatives that we are putting in place. On infrastructure, because it's been an area where we were very much engaged in the past, so now we see ourselves less as constructing infrastructure like in the past, you know, the trail bridges, the motorable bridges, and also the roads like the Lamasango Jiri road. But we see our role increasingly as providers of technical assistance, of knowledge and expertise. This is definitely a remarkable example of a successful partnership, and I was lucky enough to be the one ambassador who could inaugurate the 10,000 trail bridge. Coming back to Tony Hagen, I think the idea originally came from him walking around the country and saying that actually building trail bridges would be important to transform the lives of rural communities. And in terms of the lessons, what is remarkable is how this project evolved over the years. You know, it started as a pure infrastructure project in the 60s, where actually you would have the Swiss engineers coming and build the bridges. And then later on, it became a community based project, and with the adoption of the Constitution in 2015, the approach changed towards working with the three spheres of government in order to enable them to fulfill their responsibilities according to the Constitution in the specific topic of constructing trail bridges. So this finally was at the same time a project building infrastructure, but also strengthening the federal state. And the partnership was such that we handed over progressively. There was increasing financial contributions from the Nepali partners. And last year, so we fully handed over to the governments, to the authorities, because it was time for them to fully take over the responsibility. So the project had a remarkable transformational effect. I think it's 2/3 of the Nepali population which is connected to trail bridges, and more than 1 million people use the trail bridges every day. So basically it made river crossing safer. It has also allowed women, to carry out the household chores, but keeping dignity. And it also increased school attendance. And it allows people using the trail bridges to save a lot of time to access markets and services. Definitely, Nepal has the potential to become a regional hub. And the recently initiated trade between Bangladesh and Nepal, I think, is a strong signal in that direction. Hydropower is, on the one hand, one of the cleanest energy sources, and it's decisive for curbing global greenhouse gas emissions. So it's good, as you mentioned, to fight against climate change. On the other hand, climate change has its impact also on the capacity of Nepal to generate hydropower, because it increases the frequency of climate-related disasters, and it can impact hydropower dams, transmission lines. It might also impact the rentability of hydropower installations because of the change in the water runoff. So how can we help? We were speaking about the similarities, and here there is definitely a similarity. Switzerland has a long-standing experience and expertise in disaster risk management in the Alps, as well as in hydropower generation and management. And we have recently agreed with the government of Nepal to bring in globally renowned Swiss experts on disaster risk modeling and management to help de-risk future investments, such as investment in the hydropower sector. And for this, we will also collaborate closely with the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank, which are important actors in the hydropower sector. So this is one thing. The other thing is that we would also like to enhance the interest of Swiss companies to provide their consultancy and engineering services in Nepal in the infrastructure sector. And this is the reason why we will be organizing in March of next year a fact-finding mission for Swiss companies to come to Nepal in order to better understand what are the opportunities for business in the infrastructure sector in Nepal. Well, the Swiss embassy has actively introduced Nepal and its opportunities to the Swiss private sector. To date, we have organized already 2 fact-finding missions to Nepal, involving a total of 12 Swiss companies. So these missions gave the opportunity for Swiss companies to come to Nepal and then to meet with stakeholders to understand how the Nepali market functions and what are the opportunities. And as I said, a third fact-finding mission focusing in the infrastructure sector is scheduled for March 2025. So these efforts highlight our belief that targeted communication about Nepal's opportunities can deliver tangible results. For instance, as a follow-up to the first fact-finding mission that was organized, an air service agreement was concluded in February this year between Switzerland and Nepal, and this air service agreement is what has now allowed the Swiss airline company, Swiss, to offer commercial flights from Switzerland to Nepal in codeshare.
Direct flight.
No, not direct, but in codeshare through Delhi. But you can go on the website of Swiss and you can directly book your ticket Zurich to Kathmandu, so meaning the luggage is directly sent. Yes, and it's codeshare. So this is the first step, an important one. So at this stage, our strategy has been to focus on how we can facilitate Swiss businesses' entry into Nepal by bringing Swiss innovation, technology, expertise. So we aim to support the country's development efforts and bolster the expansion of the private sector. So we have other examples of how Swiss technology has been instrumental. For instance, Leica's precision machines were used for the construction of the Nagdunga tunnel and for the construction of the Upper Trishuli 1. The Swiss reinsurance company, Swiss Re, developed a product of parametric insurance for this hydropower dam, and this has helped attract additional investment. So there are numerous Swiss products which are used in the Nepali market, from machinery to raw materials like dyes, and what we hope is that by using this kind of high quality product, this will also improve the quality of the Nepali products and so enable them to be exported to the European markets. So it's a kind of win-win. So this is one thing. What we have been also constantly doing is to work with the authorities to create an enabling environment for the private sector. So we have been working with the Department of Food Technology and Quality Control to establish the quality standards that would then facilitate the export of Nepali products abroad. And we have also tried to foster exchanges between Swiss and Nepali private sector actors. We have a program which is called the Swiss Senior Export Contact, and we were celebrating last week the 30 years of this program. The principle is that small and medium enterprises can ask the expertise, the support of Swiss experts to help them address specific problems for the development of their products. So this was a very successful example. Now, what is also encouraging is to see that there is a growing number of Nepali students studying in Switzerland, attending universities and other tertiary schools there, and coming back to Nepal. And we have seen that especially in the hospitality sector. So now these young Nepali who came back, either they started with their own enterprises or they are working in leading hotels across the country. And I would like also to highlight, to conclude on this question, the role of the trade chambers. There is in Nepal, the Nepal Swiss Chamber of Commerce and Industries, And in Switzerland, we have the sister organization, so the Swiss Nepal Chamber of Commerce, and they are playing a key role in strengthening the bilateral relations. They are organizing networking events, promoting trade, and so enabling the exchange of critical information. So this is what we've been doing so far, and we will continue to support Nepal and also the Swiss private sector to foster the bilateral relationship. Tourism has definitely a huge potential for Nepal. Today, it contributes only to 6% of the GDP, so there is room to grow. And there has been a growth over the last years of the arrivals of foreign tourists. I think it's plus 10% per year, so meaning it's on a positive trend. So in the past, Switzerland is supporting the tourism sector in Nepal by constructing infrastructure, so the trail bridges, motorable bridges, and also road construction. And more recently, we have also financed the construction and maintenance of trekking trails such as the Mundum Trail. And it's on the basis of this good experience that we have now launched together with the authorities and partners in Koshi province a project which aims at fostering trail-based tourism. So this project aims at promoting local economic development and sustainable tourism by enhancing culturally and historically important trails in the mid-hills of Koshi province. There will be about 400 kilometers of trails which will be constructed, and it will create about 2,000 jobs, but in the longer term. But during the construction work, we estimate that there will be about 500,000 person days of employment, which will be generated through cash for work. So this is something very concrete that started. We are also now studying the opportunity to launch another project on tourism. So definitely in your question on how we can support the development of sustainable and eco-tourism is definitely something that resonates a lot with us. We have also been supporting tourism in the context of our activities on technical, vocational, and Tibet. Yes. And how did we do that? Through the promotion of dual apprenticeship in the hotel and accommodation sector. So I would also like to remind about the partnership between the world famous Swiss hospitality school, École Hôtelière de Lausanne, and the Global Academy of Tourism and Hospitality Education, the GATE College in Kathmandu. We've been partnering for a long time on Tibet, and well, it started in the 50s with cheese making and Tibetan carpet making, and then the technical schools in Jiri and the Balaju technical training center. And then the Tibet system has undergone a major change with the promulgation of the constitution. So we shifted the approach, and we started supporting the authorities of all three spheres of government to fulfill their responsibilities according to the constitution in this sector. And in this respect, I mean, the adoption of the Federal Civil Service Act, but also of the Federal Tibet Act would be instrumental in allowing the provinces and local governments to fulfill their mandate. So we've always try to promote the accessibility of Tibet for the most disadvantaged people, giving them career options to foster an inclusive society. So you are definitely right. Scholarships are an important means, and this is something we are thinking more about now to see how this can complement what we've been doing so far when we offered traineeships. So I think what I would like to highlight is the value, the intrinsic value of vocational education and training and of dual apprenticeship. This is a model that we had for years in Switzerland, and which we are supporting the authorities to introduce here in Nepal. It's important for the private sector and the authorities to work together. The private sector has to be associated to every stage of the decision making in the Tibet system, meaning, for instance, they have to have a say in designing the curriculum for the different career paths. And this is the best way to ensure that the young people then are equipped with the skills that are relevant for the private sector. So this is, I think, I like to say that in Switzerland, 80% of the young people, they would choose to go for an apprenticeship. And that it's not because they are not able to study in a university, but they are doing that because they know that it will give them good chances to get a job after they graduate. So this is the path to success. And this is also something we are supporting the authorities now to kind of glamorize Tibet, for young people to understand that it's the road to success. What motivated the support? I think it falls back again on the long-standing relationship, and there is this strong goodwill and trust for Switzerland in Nepal as a true friend. And it's with this background that the government of Nepal requested, together with the stakeholders, for Swiss support in the peace process and in the transitional justice process. Now, I think I would like also to acknowledge the great strides that Nepal has been doing over the past decades. And you mentioned the passage of the TRC Act in August this year. So this is definitely a historic achievement. Now, the thing is that the stakeholders have to turn and to focus, to turn towards the implementation of the TRC Act. And there are high expectations, especially from the grassroots victims, and there will be challenges ahead. So as far as Switzerland is concerned, we are fully committed to continue to support a Nepali-led and victim-centric transitional justice process. Yes, this is the graduation is definitely an objective we will support Nepal to achieve. And as I said, we are working both on the institution side, so federal state building, and on the economic development side, supporting Nepal in unlocking its economic potential. So the institution side is important because, again, it's it's important to have a framework, a legislative framework, which is conducing for the private sector. It's important to have political stability because the private sector does not like uncertainty. It's important to have rules and regulations that are conducive for investment. And so this is the reason why we always support the authorities also in creating a better environment and in implementing the constitution, because it will also enable the provinces to foster economic development there. So we will continue to support also the development of the small and medium enterprises. We are also working in bringing development finance institutions to Nepal. Switzerland has a development finance institution which is called CIFEM. So these are actors who are ready to invest in countries which are a bit more risky, but then it can have a demonstrating effect and bring in other investors. And the Swiss Development Finance Institution, CIFEM, has now concluded, I think it was in spring this year, a second investment with a Nepali bank with the objective of bringing also more financing for small and medium enterprises in Nepal. So we are trying to support the unlocking of the economic potential and also, as I said before, to open the doors for more Swiss products and investments. Definitely. Switzerland and Nepal both have very diverse societies with multiple languages, cultures, and topographies. And federalism is the best way to respond to the opportunities and challenges that such tremendous diversity brings with it, preventing the exclusion of some groups. And federalism fosters the subsidiarity concept by which the best solutions occur when it is the authority which is closer to the problems that can find the solutions and bring the solutions. So federalism is the solution for that, and we've been experiencing that for quite some centuries. And in this respect, it would be important, as I mentioned already before, that the Federal Civil Service Act would be adopted, because it would then give the resources to the provinces and local governments to fulfill their mandates according to the Constitution. Well, I think the path is relatively clear, because as we mentioned several times, well, there is the objective of the graduation in 2026. So, meaning that GDP growth needs to be boosted and then maintained at a high level. As you mentioned before, also the Fitch rating, I think this is a very good signal that has been given now to the markets. What is important is for the government to adopt reforms that ensure that Nepal is the best location in the region to do business. It's important to have political stability, because investors want to know how the near future will look like. So I think the path is pretty straight, but the fundamentals of the Nepali economy are quite good. The challenge is to create jobs in order to absorb all the young people who enter the labor market each year, and in order to reduce the migration flows, and to create jobs, again, you need to have a conducive environment for SMEs. Well, let's say the vision first is that Nepal will have successfully graduated in 2026. So Nepal will be a successful middle-income federalist state. It will be the best location in the region to do business. So how would our relationship look like? Well, it will be at least as good as it is now, with even more intense economic ties, meaning more trade and investments, more Swiss tourists coming to Nepal, more Nepali visiting Switzerland, and well, we will have maintained the excellent quality of the dialogue and the friendship.